Hi, my name is Lucas. I'm the TOEFL guy at magoosh.com, and this is TOEFL Tuesday. It's Tuesday, so I talk about the TOEFL. And today I'm talking about the hardest part of the TOEFL. What is the hardest part? Okay, so to be honest, there's no one hardest part. For each student, the hardest part is something different. But there are some common hardest parts that I can talk about. So many students will have trouble with one section or another section. Let's talk about that first. What skills are hard for you? Now, on the TOEFL, there are 4 sections: reading, listening, speaking, and writing, in that order. Which is hardest for you? Many students in some countries don't get practice speaking. They practice in school a lot of reading and grammar and writing, but they never speak. In other countries, people practice speaking every day, but they never really learn the grammar very well, and so their writing has some problems, for example. So think about what skill you have the most experience with and what skill you have the least experience with. Again, they are reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Which one of those is hardest for you? If you know that, well, then you know a lot of what the hardest part of the TOEFL will be. But there's more, because the TOEFL isn't really like real life. It's not the same as speaking English in everyday living. Instead, it's a specific test with specific types of questions and problems. For example, speed problems, clock problems. In the reading section of the TOEFL, you only have 20 minutes to complete the text and the questions for one question set. In total, you might have 60 minutes or 80 minutes, depending on how many passages you have, how many questions you have. But this can cause some big problems. The reading section and the speaking section specifically cause some real speed problems for people. If you have trouble reading under pressure, reading with a timer, then this might be the hardest part for you. If that is true, either speaking with a clock, with a set amount of short time, a short set amount of time, or reading with a short set amount of time, if either of those are hard for you, then practice them now. Start immediately practicing with the clock, because you need to become more comfortable with it. And the other big one that many students have trouble with is focus problems. And specifically, I mean focus while listening. Why is that important? Well, you can only listen once on the TOEFL. So if you lose your focus, if you stop paying attention and you think about what you had for dinner last night, well, you're missing things. And you don't get to stop and repeat it. It's gone. And then if you have a question about that, too bad. You can't answer it correctly. That can cause trouble in the listening section, the speaking section, and the writing section. Because in all 3 of them, you need to listen to something and stay focused. So these can be the biggest problems for many students. I think realistically, the most common big problems are timing during reading, timing during speaking, staying focused during listening, and occasionally timing during the writing. But in writing, it's a lot more complex. There are a lot of other things. So there are several different things that can be the hardest part of the TOEFL. It's really about knowing you, what your troubles are, and which skills cause the most trouble for you, and then learning to practice those early. I hope that helps explain the test a little bit. It's not so simple. Next week, or actually, sorry, in 2 weeks, we'll talk more about some more TOEFL advice, or you can come to TOEFL.magoosh.com and get some advice right now there. I'll see you later.